Hello and welcome to our first episode of the Nightly Podcast. Today I am interviewing Rickey Tripp, Broadway choreographer. I hope you enjoy.
Communication is just more than words. It's actually just power.
Some of the things on this podcast will talk about heavy topics that we hope to communicate clearly about.
Communication to me is when you talk to others.
Communication helps us build relationships.
Stay tuned of the Nightly Podcast.
Make sure you tune in to our podcast, the Nightly Podcast.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it is that you do as a choreographer for those that aren't familiar with dance or choreography or Broadway?
Of course. First I want to say thank you for this time with you. I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
Of course.
Thank you for so it's such a cool space that you have here. I'm so
Thank
impressed
you.
with you all. Mr.
Yes,
Chapman
we've
has done a
been working
wonderful
very hard
job,
on it.
and so as a Broadway choreographer, usually dealing with musical theater, which has song, dance, and scene work in it, acting, singing, dancing. And my responsibility as a choreographer is to then make the through line of the vision of the director as well as the musical department come all together with an ideal of what the show should be and what the show should feel like in terms of movement and choreography.
Okay.
Choreography is movement, and it also happens in plays, which is what I'm currently working on right now. Is a play called The Monsters.
The Monsters.
Yeah, down
Oh.
at Two River Theater.
That
So it's a
sounds
world
cute.
premiere.
Is it cute or am I getting the wrong idea?
No, you're getting it right there because it's a love story between a brother
Aw.
and a sister, and it's quite beautiful, and it's a blessing to be a part of it because it reminds me of my relationship with my sister
Oh,
a lot.
cute.
So as a choreographer, we dive into several different genres and methods of how to storytell. That's pretty much what choreography is. And sometimes in commercial dance, it could also just be a thing that's presentation or that's performative. So it all has a different meaning, but all at the end of the day, we are still storytelling within the realms of musical theater.
Very nice. I'm glad
Yeah.
you do something you seem to enjoy so much.
I do enjoy it. Listen, we have a love-hate relationship. my passion, because you want to be great at it, and you have a high demand for yourself. And then others have a high demand of you as well. So you always want to meet those demands, hopefully head on, but in a passionate, artistic, free, loving way.
So now let's jump back to
Sure.
the beginning of your career. From what I know, 2008, 7 years ago, the year I was
My
born.
God. Don't you do that? How dare you? Okay. Alrighty. That's what's happening. y'all. She just did that.
So your Broadway debut, In the Heights. Tell me about that.
There's nothing like your Broadway debut because when you spend so many years of training and dreaming and you finally get there and you taste it and you want more of it. And I tell people all the time when I meet new artists who are just stepping into the world of musical theater that there's nothing like it. And it was a blessing that it was In the Heights because it's most people. It depends on the show. I didn't have to come on stage as a tree, like I was able to be a human being. So that was the wonderful thing. So people can see my face every night. So I was happy about that. But oh my God, In the Heights it's like, what do you say about that time that it's one of those moments that you're just like, it's all things coming into alignment together. Like you're with the right group of people, you're in the right timing of what the show was presented, when the show was developed, and the right group of creatives in charge of making it work. It was the right, I just have to say timing. The timing was perfect, and I came to New York with that dream and that passion of mine in my heart, and I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know how it was going to happen. And for it to happen the way it did with that show that revolutionized, I want to believe, like the blueprint of musical theater that has changed. This is like we wouldn't have a Hamilton without In the Heights. We wouldn't have a lot of other things if it wasn't for In the Heights. So that to be like to set a standard and a bar for something in terms of musical theater and how it can be shared and how it can be explored has been it was a wonderful my vocabulary is like, because I just get excited about it, but it was a wonderful time, really wonderful time.
Yeah. And was the time period, the time frame where you were a performer, could you say now that you've pivoted your career in a sense, what do you enjoy more? Did you enjoy being a performer or choreographer? Can we not pick?
I cannot pick.
No?
And because they're one and the same, but they're also apples and oranges at the same time. Because as a performer, you're on stage, and then as a creator, as a choreographer, you're behind the scenes, which means on the other side of the table. So as a choreographer, you have to wear several hats. As a performer, you can wear necessarily just like one hat. You have to be concerned about one part. Because as a choreographer, I have to worry about, like, say if it's a cast of 25, I have to worry about how these people look in the space and how the show has been represented. But as a performer, I'm inside the work. And that just takes on a different perspective. And it's hard for me to choose between, and the pivot wasn't easy by any means. I actually still very much love performing and miss performing. Something about 8 shows a week can be a little, taxing on the body. Yeah. But it's, when you really enjoy it, and by enjoy I mean a live theater, a live audience. That's the thing for the vibrancy of that, because it's a constant dialogue between the stage and the audience. So as a performer, I miss that. As a creative, I again miss that aspect, but then I have to sit back and wait for other people's opinions and thoughts. Not that it really matters what it thinks, but it does influence your information or what you're trying to say in your choreography, and if the information is being clear to the audience. So,
are there any notable people that you have gotten to work with or places that you've gotten to go?
That's good questions. These are great. She's doing a really good job, y'all. Okay, let's see. I have met, oh God, so many influential people. I've also met some amazing artists who would come and see the shows, celebrities themselves. But also I made some great friends along the way. I found my community and my tribe, if you will, through working on various shows and various projects. Yeah, like mentors. I feel like I'm actually doing more of I'm becoming a mentor myself, and it's like I didn't choose that path, but I think it just comes along with the territory.
And what's that like for you?
It's great. I love being able to. Discover with people and help them find a version of themselves, the greater version of themselves.
And have you gotten to work more with youth, being, I guess, in more of a teaching
Yeah,
position now?
I do. I haven't been able to teach as much. I used to teach at Broadway Dance Center and also at Steps, but because of my schedule, my creative schedule, it doesn't allow me the time to always show up for my students. And one of my things about that is, like, I love to be there for my students. So time away from them really affects me. So when I can, because it's part of the growing process,
Yeah.
the growth process that in order to have you there, that's how they grow, and that's actually how I grow as well. And I always tell people, as much as you're teaching me, as much as I'm teaching you, you're also teaching me. So it's a very minister situation. There's a very give and take, share.
Yeah. Do you think you take more than you give or give more than you take, or is it 50-50?
It's kind of 50-50. Yeah. I like to believe that I think, I say it's 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have read that you've spoken quite fondly of Camille
A.
A.
Brown. That's correct. Yes.
Tell me
That's
about
my partner
her.
in crime.
Aw,
Yeah.
is she?
She is. She and I, God, let me see, we met in 2011, so that's a 15, where are we at? 2020, no, we're in 2025 now.
Yes.
Because we have, 3 months? What are we? October, November, December. We're already
Yes, we're not too far.
Not too far from it. So she and I have had a 14-year relationship in the making.
Aw.
I started off as a bit of a dancer with her, and then became her associate choreographer, which means that I help her vision come true.
Okay.
Yeah, come to full fruition. That's how I fully support her.
Okay.
So that's the difference between a choreographer, which I have been stepping into the role of, and then I play the role also of an associate choreographer. So that's me supporting another choreographer's dreams and thoughts and ideas and whatnot.
And that's something you enjoy?
I do thoroughly enjoy, especially with her. We have a great relationship because we're great working together, but we're also good friends. Like we actually love what we do and we have a good time. We laugh and we cry about it at the same time, but we have the same integrity and the same goal of trying to make something wonderful.
Do you ever
Makes me nervous.
Do you ever find yourself butting heads with the director?
Oh my God! Yes, of course. And but that's only because if it's not out of someone having to be right or wrong, it's just that everyone has the same goal of making something great. We don't always agree of how we're getting there, but we want to get there. You know, does that make sense? So
Yes.
we butt heads. And it's like, great, I don't agree with that idea, but I will try it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then we have to. It's what you do as a creative. You problem solve all day, every day. So you butt heads, but that's because of, again, out of passion, out of something, of trying to make something wonderful. And it's never malicious. No one ever hates. You end up in, you love everyone at the end of the day. But I think it's good to rub. That's how friction, what is it? Friction makes diamonds. Pressure makes diamonds. So that's how you get to making something good. If everyone is yes-anding, if everyone's like, yes, we agree, that's a little scary because we're like, is this thing really good? Can you trust that? So I like to be, you want to be in rooms and around people who are smarter than you. That's how you get things done.
That was so beautifully put.
Thanks.
Do you think that's something you've gotten to learn from having to, I guess, pivot the concept of your ideas
Yeah.
to
Sometimes
match
you
with
do
someone
get used
else's?
to it, yes.
Uh-huh.
So that's what as a choreographer, it's important that your first job is to make the director's vision come true, to assist in that. Or the writer, really, actually all of the above, really, because there's nothing, we don't have a musical without a book, and or music, and then the people. But yeah, you want to make sure that you understand that, because it's really jarring when you see a show and you can tell that the creative team, everyone was on different pages. So when you have someone, a director and a choreographer, all right, everyone, when a clear vision, we understand what the picture is, and we make sure that this picture is also going to just be articulated to the audience in a way that we want it to be delivered. So I have learned that along the way, and that's, again, okay, you're going to agree with some people, you're going to disagree with some people. That's part of the journey of making art.
What's the biggest lesson that Broadway has taught you that you didn't expect to learn, either at the beginning of your career or something recent that happened? What were you not expecting? What were you not prepared for?
I think that's a really good question, Julia. Wow. My expectations of something I didn't know that I would learn from Broadway. I think it's one that I actually have the ability to do this, and that I want to do this, and I want to continue doing it. I learn something every day about it. It's like I like to say when I'm starting a project, is that I like to put myself in the sophomore position. And what I mean by that is that I'm not a freshman. I'm not new to this. I'm not a senior yet because I have more room to grow. So as a sophomore and or junior, but I like sophomore better, I don't know why, that I still have room for development. I still have room for learning. I still have room for knowledge. I still have room for exploration of myself as well as my artistry. Like it's just, because I'm constantly changing, which means my art is changing. And that's within self as well as what's happening politically or in the world. Not in the world, politics of the world and society in general. But Broadway, one thing that has taught me is that you learn how to pivot. It's a constant pivoting. It's a constant, like, that doesn't work, great, next thing. That doesn't work, next thing. That doesn't work, next thing. So it kind of, even in life, you have to, like, release control a lot of the time and know that it's a bigger picture. It's not only about you.
Yeah. This seems like a bit of an emotional field to work in. I feel like
It's an understatement.
You are working with so many different people
Yeah.
who, of course, have their own feelings.
That's right. That is exactly right.
Is there any emotion or feeling that you feel is showcased in your work, or do you have to align your feelings with the feeling that whatever piece you're creating, what you think it should feel like, do you have to align with it, or can you showcase what you as the choreographer feel?
Yeah, I think it's important. I always say that, a choreographer, I want to believe that choreographers, we put our souls on other people's souls.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is that, the dancer is a vessel for my work to be done,
Mm-hmm.
for my work to be seen. So we're in constant conversation about how does that feel, not only physically, but emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense what I'm asking of them to do to in terms of storytelling, to translate that to the audience. Um, it is sometimes feelings can get tricky. Sometimes feelings can always be trusted because it's just knowledge about like does it my feelings may get in the way of what needs to be done
Mm-hmm.
specifically. So sometimes you have to put that aside and because you have to get the job done regardless. But feelings do also help fuel the thing that you're wanting to do and wanting to say, and I think it's important to acknowledge those as well.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you have to go like, is that feeling, is that a truth about this, or is that a false about this narrative? And so you have to find that what's really important in the moment and for the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and for the people who are doing the work too.
Yes. Has it ever gotten exhausting or just generally upsetting at any specific point? Was there a time frame um, that your work was really getting to you, the weight of what you
Mm.
do?
Yeah. Again, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of mentally, spiritually, and physically, financially,
Mm-hmm.
um, emotionally, mentally. If I didn't say it already, I'm sure I've said that. But it takes all those elements of your body and your presence and your being, I should say, to do that. Sometimes you get on projects that really inspire you, um, and then sometimes you get on some that simply don't, and I think that's just part of the journey and working in the industry in general. Sometimes you get in rooms where people are really inspiring. Again, work also inspiring, that make you want to be a better artist. And sometimes you're just like, oh, this is just a gig. This is just one of those moments that this is a gateway to the next thing, and those moments are fine as well. Like it would be nice. I don't know. It would be nice if every project was like, filled with glee, but it's not always the case.
Tell me about, did 2020 bring up any conflicts in the creative space?
Oh my God. Yes, it really did. First of all, it was a part of it's, a time when we didn't know what was going to become of our industry, because our industry really involves other people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a constant dialogue with self and others, and then also the audience. So it was one of those times like, what do we do? Like, if this is all if this is the only thing that you really want to truly pursue, then again, there comes that pivot, right? But 2020 brought a lot of racial comments, a lot of like DEI, a lot of sensitivity around that, and it's actually still happening. Some of it is being handled with care, and some of it is not being handled with care. But it was one of those times where we had to sit back, and we're grateful for it that the world had to pause and go, hey, this is what's happening, made you realize some stuff, it made you face some of the things, and you had to be a mirror to a lot of things. And it's still, again, it's in the space, but people are still navigating of what that means and how to move in and around it.
Mm-hmm.
And how to deal with it, to be honest with you. Yeah, it did 1000% that has shifted a lot about how we approach our work and what we're wanting to say and how we're saying it.
Have politics tended to dabble into your creative space?
I think politics dabble in all spaces. It really does. From as simple as you negotiating your contract.
Mm-hmm.
It's as a performer or as a creative, you have to fight for some things, and some things you have to release. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
politics share a role in everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I think you shared that that's fluctuated
Yes.
throughout the years. How else has your or not just your career, but the field that you work in, the dance community, how has it evolved from when you were first getting into what you do till now?
Oh, training. I think. Let's see. Well, we have a lot of it in terms of like social media. Like it's everywhere. Not that it like you would see dancing more along on like music videos, but now it's everywhere, and that's because of social media. You have your TikTok, you have your Instagram, so the devices in which we share and how we share the art has really changed, and that does shift the paradigm of how dance is communicated.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's for the better or not. I'm still, for me personally, like that's still debatable. It takes a lot of hard work and discipline in what we do as dancers and as performers. So, when you have what it feels like microwave versions of that, it can get a little delusional about like if you want to do it professionally. That's the difference. Everyone has the ability to dance. Everyone can do it socially, but there's a difference when you want to pursue that thing professionally, where it could look like, oh, this is an everyday thing, this is an easy thing to do. That is not the case. It takes years and years of training and sacrifice to get to where you want to be, professionally. And sometimes, again, it can be a little misinterpreted. I think maybe in terms of where dance is headed now, but it's also a good thing, So evolution is necessary for a lot of things, right? We can get stubborn and stuck in our ways, but it's important to know how to get there, but also you can't remember or can't forget of how where we came from and how we got there.
So I want to touch on who you are as a person. I know our identity, it's important to us, it's important to you, it's important to me, it should be important for people, and I want to know a little bit about you as a person, what you value about yourself as a Black creator. What is that like for you? Tell me a little bit about your story.
Okay. Well, I do identify as a Black queer man, and it has now started to infiltrate more inside of my work. I didn't understand what that was and what that meant. I was able to show up fully as myself. So it begins with me loving and accepting myself fully. That my work now is an example of that, of the pure joy, the excitement, and the fearlessness that comes along with it, and the greatness that also comes along with it. That's how I show up in space now, and how I'm dealing with people, and it's also my spirituality plays a huge part in it as well. So that's how I'm able to fully give into my work and into other people, because of now I have a better sense of self.
Yeah, that's so special that you have gotten to find a career that coincides and aligns with who you are.
Yeah.
As a person, that's such a special thing that you are able to do. And I also didn't want to glaze over, were you pursuing a career in pediatrics? Was that a real quick thing?
She did her homework, everyone.
I did my research.
She did.
I did.
I was, this dream that I am living to my fullest potential now, was, I don't recall having it. I don't recall it really being a thing. That's why I think it's divinely orchestrated by God, 1000%, because growing up in Los Angeles, you were surrounded by dance, but I wasn't also where I lived and where I grew up. Shout out to Watts. That wasn't accessible to me. That was in Hollywood, which I was about 45 minutes to an hour away from. And so, you go to school, you do things socially, you dance and whatnot. And so I thought, because I love the human body, I love math and science, and I love kids, I was like, oh, this makes sense. You're going to go be a pediatrician. All those things line. And then I got to school, and I was like studying biological science for like maybe a year. I was like, this is not the road for me. I don't want to be in school this long. I love school, but I don't want to be, nope. So I think I need to shift my path. And I didn't know which way I was headed until it just started to all unfold naturally for me. That I'd like to say that dance found me. I wasn't really necessarily searching. It's just something I was really passionate about. And other people saw that within me, and they wanted to help me along with that. So I have some mentors that orchestrated some things and guided me along the way that helped get me to who I am today and how I am here today. And I want to give a shout out to Miss Hall. She was my cheerleading coach, also my English teacher. She was part of that. The second person was Victoria Perot, who is a great mentor of mine, and who also started. She saw something special into me as well. And then Janie Scott, who was my musical theater mentor. So yeah, those are the three powerhouses in my world, and I love that they're about always been they are all women. And then I have Camille A. Brown too, who's like not necessarily my mentor, but a good friend of like I'll also learn how she had to maneuver again and blend black artists in the space, what we have to deal with, and what we have to deal with, because our counterparts are not necessarily having to deal with the things that we have to deal with on a regular basis in terms of our art.
Well, I think your career is so inspiring.
Thanks.
And I think that you must be an amazing mentor to so many young people, and I am so happy that you came here to share that with us today.
Listen, this has been great. You're really wonderful. You're good at this.
Thank you. Thank
But it's
you.
been an honor being here, and thank you for your time
Thank
and your
you.
effort, and also doing your research, because some of these things can be a little awkward, but you're good. I'm excited for you. I'm excited
Thank
for the
you.
podcast, for the school.
I appreciate that. We
1000%.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you all. Bye.
Bye. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Nightly Podcast, and don't forget to tune into the next.